What's up, fam? So, Politico, I believe that was one of the organizations that Trump took funding from recently, if I'm not mistaken, because of their partisan articles. Big up in the Democrats and talking about the Republicans stuff like that. But guess what? Politico done came out with some mess. They have found thousands of pages of text messages between youngins, or not even necessarily youngins, people in the GOP that were racist and vile in nature. And now you got people who want to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it too. What we're going to do is we're going to watch this news article and then we're just going to go break it down as much as we can. After that, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's hit it.
The governor and the vice president both responding to an exclusive Politico story. It details messages between several members of state young Republican groups, including New York State young Republicans, that are racist and anti-Semitic in nature. And among those allegedly involved is Bobby Walker, who we're told is a Schenectady County resident. Nearly 3,000 pages of chats between January and mid-August reveal what Politico calls a culture where racist, anti-Semitic, and violent rhetoric circulate freely. Those involved joked about gas chambers, slavery, and rape. Multiple people in the chat are connected to New York Republicans. Pictured here in social media posts from the New York State Young
That looked like a "Make America Great Again" picture, if I ever seen one. Like for real. Is that real? Is that AI? I'm like,
Republicans, Bobby Walker.
huh.
He previously worked for the state Senate Minority Leader Rob Ort and was also slated to.
Okay. There go his real picture. All right, keep going. Oh, he is from that same city y'all from. He got that logo on his jacket. Okay.
Be the campaign manager
It's
for
connected.
State Senator
It's
Peter
connected.
Oberacher's congressional campaign.
Connected.
Politico says Walker called rape, quote, epic in the chat. A spokesperson for Senator Oberacher telling Politico that Walker is no longer being brought on the campaign in light of the recent comments.
Built for the fight, huh? Like I think he's more built for a fight for that last piece of chicken on the dinner table. Other than that, I don't know what kind of fight he is. I don't know what kind of fight he's built for.
And in the aftermath of the story, multiple state leaders as well as Republican figures have condemned the messages. Schenectady County Republican Chairwoman Liz Joy specifically mentioning Bobby Walker and his residency in Schenectady County. She said, quote, his statements in the published chat were indefensible and do not in any way represent the values or standards that I demand from the members of our committee. I want to be crystal clear. Anyone who degrades or bullies others in a similar way to Mr. Walker will find themselves off our committee and out of any leadership position. We have a zero tolerance policy for that behavior.
Shout out to this young lady and I'm glad it's somebody from the GOP or the Republican Party, whatever you want to call it, because I want y'all to understand that no matter which side of the fence you are on, overt racists or whatever, and people who aren't, or who just haven't been pushed to that limit yet. Let me say that. People who will condemn stuff like this and who are not for this. Now, I'm sure every Democrat is going to have something to say about these text messages, and rightfully so. But not just because they're Democrat, but because they are human beings. But it's politics, so they're going to try to make it, hey, Republicans do this, Democrats do that. Now, Republicans seem to tolerate stuff like this more, but they also are trying to make sure that they are not. That's why I understand politics. That's why I don't understand it, because why are some people so dead set on hating each other because of their political preference? I don't get it. It makes no sense. I thought you guys were out there, supposed to be out there for the people, and all people, not just those who are Republican, not just those who are Democrat, but for every citizen in this country. But when it comes to party lines, that's more important. Make it make sense.
Governor Hochul was asked about the reporting from Politico, and here's a portion of her reaction.
That everybody from the president on down should condemn them.
Who she got a stiff face? I'm sorry. Get back to the message. Yes, everybody should condemn them.
And there's got to be consequences. Kick them out of the party. Take away their official roles. Stop using them as campaign advisors. There needs to be consequences.
Vice President J.D. Vance rebutting, saying a years-old text exchange that's recently resurfaced between Virginia Democratic Attorney General candidate Jay Jones and a Virginia delegate are, quote, far worse than anything said in a college group chat. The chats outlined by Politico were not in a college group chat, though. At least one person involved also works in the Trump administration.
That's crazy. Let me go back and look at this. No, JD Vance is trying to what? Condemn this and say this is worse than what them folks said. But we're going to get to what they said in a minute. But this is from Democrats. You weren't simply asking questions, and you know it. I genuinely was. I wasn't attacking you. I was trying to understand logic. You weren't trying to understand. You were talking about hoping Jennifer, hoping, hopping, hopping. Somebody needs to autocorrect, spell check, real quick. Hopping Jennifer and Jennifer's lowercase, Lord have mercy. They must all use the same app. They don't. Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. Yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. That is pretty vulgar. But just because, but two things can be right at the same time. Two things. This can be vulgar, and what these people on this chat that Politico find can be vulgar too. So you know what? I'm gonna go to the Politico article. So, but yo, JD Vance, oh man, you losing my support like a son gun. I ain't saying I supported you, but I thought you might have had a chance because you had the mail order bride that might to where you think that maybe you would see things from other people's perspective. But then I kind of find out that people get the mail order brides, they don't care about them. They don't love them women. That's somebody they can control, kind of like a slave. Shout out to Donald Trump. It's like having a slave, but from a different country because you bought them. Somehow got them over here. So now they belong to you. And no matter what, they would be submissive to you and they would not dare leave your sight, which means that y'all are afraid to marry an American woman because you think they're going to put you through the ringers and you ain't got time for that. Amazing. But anyway, like I said, we're going to go to this Politico article right quick. Let's see. It's pretty long, so we're not going to read all this. I don't know if I'm going to read much of it all. I just want to see the text messages, to tell you the truth. The title, let's see, the headline, the title, I Love Hitler. Leaked messages expose young Republicans' racist chat. Now, JD Vance, matter of fact, before I go here, let's go see what JD Vance said real quick. Let's go to Chat GCP. See, they say what the Politico report revealed, because I want to see, get y'all see what JD Vance has said too. Politico obtained thousands of pages of Telegram chat messages from leaders and members of various young Republican chapters across states such as New York, Kansas, Arizona, and Vermont. Who would have thought New York, Vermont, and Kansas would have racist people? Didn't all the racists live in the South with the Confederacy? And then they want to secede from the Union? That's where all the racists are, right? Right. Dating January through August 2025. That's this year. The chat logs reportedly include racist language and slurs, including references to black people as monkeys or watermelon people, and repeated use of the N word. Anti Semitic remarks praising Hitler. I love Hitler in one message, and another reference to Hitler and gas chamber. Jokes or references about the R word. One message call it epic, and and some in its violence. Jokes or references. That's where your problem comes in. That's where your problem comes in. But let's continue. Violence against political opponents. Jokes about putting people in gas chambers. Comments about driving people to suicide. Frequent usage of albeit slurs, e.g., retarded. Retarded is a slur. My kids tell me stop using that word. Reports indicate The disparaging word appeared over 250 times combined in the chat. Dang, I don't say retarded that much. Politico named certain individuals as participants. Peter Guinta, former chair of the New York State Young Republicans. Uh, Bobby Walker, vice chair in some young Republican capacity. Samuel Douglas, a Vermont state senator, was also implicated, the only elected official in the chat. Some of those names have responded by resigning or losing positions. Say Giunta was fired from a legislative chief of staff role, etc. Reactions and controversy, bipartisan condemnation. Many political figures, both Democrat and Republicans, called the content vile, unacceptable, or disgraceful, and some demanded that those involved resign from leadership roles. Young Republican National Federation publicly criticized the chats, calling the behavior disgraceful, unbecoming of any Republican, and demanding resignations from implicated members. Now, let's see what your Vice President J.D. Vance said. He downplayed the severity, categorizing the message as edgy, offensive jokes by kids and suggesting that those mistakes shouldn't be life ruining. And they've already said that a lot these people in this group are in their teens to maybe even their 40s, which is odd because when I see rappers call themselves young and they in their 30s, maybe even 20s, 30s, 40s, call themselves young, I'm like, dude, you are young compared to who? Now I understand you being preteen. I mean, before under the age of 18, and you call yourself young. But when you in your damn 20s, 30s, if you got kids and stuff like that, you ain't young no more, player. You an adult. You ain't no BG, you're an OG. So now you got these Republicans call themselves young and they still in their 40s. But I mean, hey, young is where the heart is, right? So if you feel that you're young, that's fine. Hey, I'm young. But not compared to if I'm in a group with some 20-year-olds, I'm not gonna call myself young. Like I said, they probably gonna call me old school, OG, whatever the case may be. But they young is not gonna be. Now, if I see some 60 and 70, 80-year-olds, then I can call myself young. But other than that, like I said, you're just an old fogey. Critics argue that minimizing the messages as jokes ignores the harm of normalizing hate, especially from people in leadership or aspiring political power. And that's the issue. Because they call them jokes and they say it was jokes. Okay. Now think about this. At your job, if you say say anything that you deem was a joke and it offends somebody, you can get reprimanded from like a warning, write up, suspension, and or termination. Immediately it could happen because you told jokes. But for some reason, JD Vance feels that you can tell these jokes and you're in politics and you're a Republican. This shouldn't ruin their life. Okay, I get it. And you know what? I agree with him if it's all across the board from anywhere. The thing is, once you're caught, this should be treated like maybe if somebody at work, who knows, has to take a drug test. And you know, a lot of these jobs, if you say, "Hey, I got a drug problem, I need to go to rehab," they cannot fire you, even if they take the urine or the hair sample or blood sample, and before them results come out, if you say that, a lot of these places can't hire. They actually got to find you some help, find you a rehabilitation center somewhere or something to where they have to help you get clean. So if these messages were there and then they got ready to come out and they found out that they was going to come out before they came out, then maybe they should get the opportunity to say, "Hey, I got a racist problem. I tell bad jokes, and because my jokes are so bad, the only jokes I can tell are racist jokes because us people will laugh at it because you can't believe we saying these type of things." And then maybe they can go to some kind of joke rehabilitation class. But other than that, if it ain't across the board everywhere, then it shouldn't be allowed here. It shouldn't be minimized here. So no, he talking about jokes by kids. Like I say, a lot of these people are grown. All the people are grown, basically. So if he feeling like it's not a problem, then to me, that is a problem. So no, should it ruin their political? I don't know, because here's the thing: a person is what a person is, especially by this age. If you're telling jokes like this, you know what? And let's go see the joke. Let me see what Chat GTP say. Anything else? Uh, let's see. You can't do that. Border control, broader cultures, elitism, among political youth circles. There's causelessness, casualness around the type of rhetoric that historically have facilitated real violence and oppression. When such language is joked about by future leaders, the concern that the shift the boundaries of acceptable public discourse. Yeah, and that's why I think it's a problem, because these people are trying to run the country, and that's a problem, especially among people who ain't white and people who ain't racist. Because you do this type of stuff amongst your friends, and this way you feel. But we already know, have already said this many a times. These people ain't who you think they are, whether it's Republican or Democrat. They are not. And but just because they don't say it in front of you doesn't mean that they aren't racist. But they are. They are. They tell jokes with racial overtone. Can't even say undertones. Racial overtones. And these are the people that are trying to lead this country. And it is like jacked up. Now, you got Democrats that are condemning these messages, but hold on. I cannot sit there and allow these Democrats just to like not be able not to, to be able to sit on the sideline acting like they are 100% innocent. Because if y'all was so offended by this, y'all are supposed to be so offended by this, but yet you don't care about us like that. Because if you did, you would not have been on the side of Joe Biden when he was trying to bring in people who are not citizens of this country just to say they're seeking asylum. There are rules and regulations. I admit, here's what I say it like this: if I lived in the hood, if I still lived in the Grove and got a career making good money, but every night you hear a shooting, I say every night, but too many times you hear shooting, you hear youngsters outside acting up, cars being broken into, homes being broken into, people dying, getting assaulted, gangs terrorizing the neighborhood. I myself am going to say enough is enough, and I'm moving out of that neighborhood. Now you might say, well, Marlon, you're still a citizen of the United States, or a citizen of Texas, so it ain't really no problem. I get you. But what I'm saying is, if where you live is bad, then yes, I'm gonna try to go somewhere that's better. Now, I'm gonna try to do it the right way. But you got some people who may not have means to do it the right way, but they got good intentions. They know if I get here, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna stay low. I'm gonna stay low. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna pay my taxes, pay my bills, and keep it moving. And hopefully, they don't figure out that I'm here illegally. But you also have people who want to move out the hood, and they family, or either them or their family, are part of the problem too. And so then they want to come to your neighborhood too. They may have good money, or they may have Section 8 or whatever. Now they want to come to your neighborhood too. And what do? They bring them problems with them too. Now that again can be an issue. So what I'm saying is, you'll have people who come over that border, however they get here, and want to do good because they're trying to get away from a situation. It's either life or death. We're gonna take that chance. I get it. But then you got some other people say they're gonna come over here and do some harm, run drugs, run prostitution, things like that. Those are the type of people that you don't want over here. But yet Joe Biden did nothing to vet between the two. He let them all come over. He let anybody come over here, knowing a lot of these people are criminals, but yet he didn't have a better way for it to come up. So my point is, you got to come over here, then you bring them to the black neighborhood in Chicago, New York, like that, or even the legal or illegal Hispanic community or South American, Central American community that's over here trying to work and do right, you allowed them to go to those communities and terrorize those communities. You see what I'm saying? If you was really offended by this, if you wanted me to believe that you were offended by this, you would have took care of that other mess you started 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You wouldn't even let that start it like that. You would have had a plan in place to make sure all that happened better, and you didn't. When these folks came over here terrorizing your citizens or your wannabe citizens, and you did nothing. You didn't give more money to Chicago. You didn't give more money to the city. Now me again. I'm not for no sanctuary city. My thing is because think about it, I told you before. When you have too many people in your house, your bills go up and they're not bringing it into your house, your bill, everything you got is going out, your bills go up. You got enough money to take care of the people in your family right now, but then you bring more people in and they're not contributing, your water bill go up, your electric bill go up, your food bill go up, your toiletry bill go up. All that stuff goes up, and this is money that you had no intention on spending, but you got to. So that's why I'm like, nah. What Joe Biden did was jacked up, and he didn't show he didn't care about us. So I don't want to hear about no text messages that y'all upset about, but y'all allowed, and y'all still allowing them to get driver's license and be able to vote, and they could care less about this country. They're not going to vote on the issues. They're going to vote on because you let them in here and let them do what they want to, and they want to stay. So that's why they vote. They don't care about nothing else. But you know that. Y'all know that. I just want them over here to vote for you so you can stay in power and do what you feel and still treat like third, fourth class citizens. Like Dr. Claude Anderson said in one of his books. I got like all his books back there. I forgot which one it is, but that's one thing that he told. It's one thing that he said was going to happen. But anyway, like I say, so now I say I want to go back to this political article and we're going to look at some of these text messages. Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. When do we bring that side out? Also, we are officially under consideration for a Trump endorsement. I'm ready to watch people burn now. These are just a bunch of text messages that I put together. Great, I love Hitler. Are you giving nationals too much credit and expecting the Jew to be honest? I'd go to the zoo if I want to watch a monkey play ball. A lot of these ain't no jokes. These are like the way they really feel. Now, if you get like Dave Chappelle or George Carlin or George for rest in peace, but you get comics to tell jokes, we can understand. But still, you're gonna be like, yeah, some things you just don't say. If we ever had a leak of this chat, we would get cooked for real, for real. Amazing. When do we start bullying dude and everyone that endorse, but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber, stay in the closet. I guess that's a derogatory word for gay people. This girl is footy. I guess you can't say the word retarded no more. They love the watermelon people. I guess that would be us. I love watermelon. Sure, watermelon is good for the system, for your system, all your system. So I could definitely drink that. I mean, eat that stuff. I drink watermelon juice, put it in smoothies, everything. Because if you know, men, then you know watermelon is something, especially in season now with seeds, it's something that you need to stay stay with, keep in your diet. What they say, leaders of the young Republican group throughout the country worried what would happen if the Telegram chat ever leaked, but they kept typing anyway. They referred to black people as monkeys and the watermelon people, and mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers. Maybe if y'all eat more watermelon, then maybe y'all women wouldn't be wanting to deal with watermelon people. If you know, you know. They talked about the R word, their enemies, and driving them to self-deletion and lauded Republicans who they believe supported slavery. Oh, these ain't no jokes, player. That ain't no jokes. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair, used the words, I guess the N word with the GA, the N word with the GU, variations of a racial slur more than a dozen times in the chat. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans, at the time referred to the R word as epic. Yeah, that fat boy. Peter Giunta, who at the time was the chair of the same organization, wrote in a message sent in June that everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. Amazing. He was referring to an upcoming vote on whether he should become chair of the Young Republican National Federation, the GOP's 15,000 member political organization for Republicans between the ages of 18 and 40. So again, everybody here ain't young. I'm going to create some of the greatest physiological physiological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers, he continued. Amazing. Two members of the chat responded. Let's see what some of these say. Everyone that votes is going to jump. When do we start bullying? Dude, we have a solid three people who can probably have them want to jump. If they vote for us, why would they be gassed? When do we bring that side out? I'm going to create some of the greatest. Okay, you said that. We only want true believers. Can we fix the showers? Gas chambers don't fit the Hitler aesthetic. I'm ready to watch people burn now. We got to pretend that we like them. Hey, come on, take a nice shower and relax. Boom. I don't know if this is jokes. I don't know. I'm not feeling that. Nothing funny about that at all. That seems like something that somebody would really say. It's kind of like, let me tell you what. Oh, let me tell you what a joke would probably be. If I was at work, and let's say I'm working with, I work with, black women, black dudes, I work with people of all races. But let's say I'm speaking with a black female or a black guy. And let's say like I don't know. They ask me to do something and then I come on the floor, they ask me to do something and I help them. And then, I get ready to walk off and I say like quietly to only where they can hear, like, this is why I don't like working with you colored people. Because every time I come out here, you got something for me to do. And then we get to laughing and then I walk off. I would never say nothing like that in front of white folk, Hispanic folk, or nothing like that. It'd just be something that I would say, and it's about us. It ain't about nobody else, but I don't want to do that because one, I wouldn't want to give them folk a reason to feel like, oh, well, he can say it, then I can say it. No, no, because when I say it's a joke amongst my people, when you say it, it sounds like this here. But this here, like I say, you say something like this and it gets out to a job, it's time for you to lose your job. I don't take this as jokes at all. Liberating atmosphere. What? The 2,900 pages of chat shared amongst a dozen millennial and Gen Z Republicans. So they are kind of young because I'm 48 and I'm a Gen X. I'm like at the end. So, well, no, they can still be in their 40s, right? 30s and 40s. Gen Z, yeah, okay. No, Gen Y. Gen Y is after me. So, yeah, these are young folk. Millennials are like 2000. 2000. I think Gen Z is after that. So, yeah, they're young folk. Republicans between early January and mid August chronicled their campaign to seize control of the National Young Republicans organization on their hardline pro Donald Trump platform. Many of the chat members already work inside government or party politics, and one serves as a state senator. Damn, that's not good. So let's see. Like I said, this is a long article. I ain't gonna read all that because it's a lot. Trump too busy burning Epstein files. Okay, well, Trump ain't gonna like that. Wax, trying to find some text messages before we get up out of here. Mm-hmm. Look at this. What is it doing a portrait? Why they all look like they like, you know, that community, that LMNOP community that's like way over there, where one, they want to pretend that there's something that they're not and get mad if you misgender them. That's what this person is looking like. They all built funny looking. Like, gosh. And what's up with that hair? Okay. William Hendricks doing a portrait shoot. This is 2021. Maybe he lost weight since then. It said that we are all aware the issue raising an article and that Hendricks is no longer employed in Kobach's office. Very good. Good for Kobach. Let's look at some more text messages. Yes, I had some back and forth with the VC in Michigan. Current chair is a deer in headlights. We have a call on Wednesday. Many agree. He did say my delegates I bring will vote. Oh, my delegates I bring will vote for the most right wing person. Great. I love Hitler. What an idiot. In another exchange, Dwyer, the Kansas chair, informs whatever his name is, that one of the Michigan young Republicans promised him in the group will vote for the most right wing to lead the nation. Oh, I just read that. Okay, few minority groups spared. Let's see what else I said. I'm trying to find text messages. Just trying to find so they got any messages. Joe, did you look up? Yes, just did. Probably shouldn't have on my work computer. Say they doing stuff and they know they're doing stuff and they just doing some silly stuff because you know what I'm saying? They feel emboldened. Trump is in office and a lot of people feel like they can be as racist as they want to and it won't. And JD Vance is in office, so they feel they can say and do what they want to. They won't get no repercussions because he got their back. It's kind of like when remember Obama was in office, and a lot of us thought he had our back on some things, and he had nobody's back but the LMNOP community. Joe Biden, we thought when y'all put him in, y'all thought that he was going to have our back, and he had the back of all the illegal aliens and people who were not, or let me say, all the non-citizens who either were in or came to this country. Now you got Donald Trump and JD Vance, and well, we didn't think they had our back. We think they had the back of the people that made money, of more of the country, and we know what they are and we know what they're about, so we can fight that battle a little better and a little clearer when we see who our enemy is. But when you got the other party who pretends like they're your friends or pretend like they fighting for you, but yet they're playing in your face, that's aggravating. I don't want you to be my friend. Matter of fact, get out of my face. I rather deal with this person over there because with that person, I can actually put the gloves on and go, and you know what I'm saying, to go one on one and have no problems because they want to go one on one with me and they showing me. So now I know who I'm going against and how to defend myself. Y'all, no, y'all conniving and don't want to show nobody your hand, but yet what they say, you shake my hand with your right hand and got your left hand behind your back with a knife, ready to stab me when I turn around. Nah, we ain't got that. We ain't got time for that. Either one of y'all. Yeah, probably should have known the Spanish came to America and had relations with every single woman. Sex is, they say, gay sex. It was the R word, epic, amazing. There's more explicit malice in some phrases too, especially when they turn their ire on opponents outside the chat. Anyway, let me see. Any more little messages down here? No, I don't see no. But anyway, I'm gonna put this link in the description box. The way y'all can read it yourself. But hey, who's surprised? I'm not surprised. I see it. It kind of upsets me a little bit, but I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going. Who cares? Because that's just what they are, and that's what they do, and that's fine. I mean, we're just gonna make sure Democrats, if you don't want these people, because see, let me tell you what the Democrats are gonna think. The reason why I think the Democrats are not doing a whole lot now to talk against Trump a lot, except Jasmine Crockett, which I don't know why she's doing what she's doing. Because again, I need Jasmine Crockett to worry about us. You know, her district is down here. I need her to worry about what she's going to do to help us, not what she's going to do to piss Donald Trump off. I think the reason why I feel the Democrats are not really doing much, not saying a whole lot, is because they want Donald Trump to fall flat on his face. They want him. They want us to see who he is and who are the people that are with him and how they are against us. So then when the midterms come and the presidential election come, we're going to be like, man, we got to get this dude up. Well, he's going to go, but we can't let JD Vance come in after him because we see how he is. The way he feel about us is the same way, if not worse than Trump. So we're going to go vote Democrat. That's what they think. But remember, we sat out, a lot of us sat out this past election, and some of us voted non-Democrat, and some of us sat out. Don't think we ain't gonna do the same thing. Matter of fact, might do it in larger numbers because you still got people like Brandon Johnson, J.D. Pritzker that are in office in Chicago, your New York governor. You still got these sanctuary cities and these governors and mayors who are still trying to keep these illegals, the violent ones, in the country for whatever reason. Still trying to go against Trump just because he's Trump. And I don't understand that. If he's doing something that's going to help your city, man, you just bow down, not bow down, but step back, bow out is what I'm trying to say. And let him do what he got to do. And then you just come back in and take over. But just make sure you keep the crime out. But you still got those folks that people are mad at and don't want to vote for, which means they'll be going against the Democratic Party, which means they're probably going to sit it out, which means it's possibly the Republicans are going to win again in the presidential election, maybe even in the midterms. So that's not going to work. What I would suggest the Democrats do is say this is a perfect time for us to revamp our agenda, put something out there for the people, not this what they're trying to do again, this reparations committee again. These states are trying, man, come on, y'all did that mess 4 years ago and it didn't work. Come on, y'all. Stop playing in my face. But trying to create these committees for reparation, no, that's not going to work. You need to actually do something that's tangible. Start putting it in the works. So by the time get ready for midterms, you got things running in whatever city y'all control, whatever state y'all control. And then when it gets ready for the presidency and it's time to vote, and y'all say, hey, look, this is what we did locally. This is what we did statewide for our people of the country. Now it's time to do it national with the next president. That's how you're going to get more votes. If not, we're just going to see more of this racism here, man. We're going to go back to when America was great again. But this time we're going to be ready. As a black people, we're going to be ready. And we're going to know how to deal with it differently. Because we got folks like myself and folks that have seen how it was done in the past and the good and the bad they did. Now we're going to know we're going to chew the meat, spit out the bones, and we're going to know how to deal with this. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share with the world. Let's have intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us is this channel. With that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.